What's up, YouTube? Today we're going over this wonderful accumulation here and how you could have traded this long on the low time frame. And I want to go over it because I, in my YouTube videos, go over the high time frame a lot right now because I have the Discord and for the compound, I want to explain context and the high time frame schematics. But the thing is, I don't make a lot of videos about how to actually scalp those trades anymore. I have a lot of videos on my channel of it, but right now I want to explain this XRP setup, and it was just today and I thought, why not make a video? It wasn't even the most perfect trade, but here we go. Let's see what the context was. And when you draw your Fibonacci from low to high, so from swing low to high, there you can see some POIs, points of interest for price to go into. And you see your VIPs, those are my Fibonacci levels, and you can see this 0.5 aligns with the demand. What is that line there? That's the end of the liquidity. So you have liquidity, this is the end of the liquidity. Below there is a fair value gap, very important, with the demand, and that's aligned with the 0.5. So that's what the context is saying right now. What do we also see? It's a red circle high. Why is this a red circle high? Because it's not backed by a Wyckoff, it's not backed by a schematic right there. Creating supply, for example, it's a red circle high. It's literally nothing. When I further, I always talk about a red circle low, but on a high, it's exactly the same. Like, this is eventually gonna get taken out. So we have that red circle high and not backed by anything, and a lot of liquidity above us. So here, this only liquidity. So there's no supply in that area. So that's XRP, and you can trade low time frame schematics while you're in a range like that. So right here on the low time frame, you got a scalp opportunity, and this is a very low time frame scalp trade. But as you can see on USDT dominance and BTC, this actually was a very good trade. So you can see USDT approaching supply, Bitcoin making a sort of model here, was a 2-tap model going higher. So with an aggressive breakout structure, and then you watch XRP. So let's draw your range from low to high and let's see where price will go to. Let's go back in time and trade it like a real trade as well. And there you see your wonderful range right here. And what is the best about this range is that it leaves so much liquidity above. Why is this liquidity above? Because it's all lower highs. So you have a high right there, you have a high right there, high right there, high right there, high right there, and there. All those stop losses will get triggered. So that means there's so much liquidity above those highs. And when this high takes out that high, for example, it means liquidity is taken. But it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's only liquidity. So we want to look for an accumulation here. And what do we see? We see the range low is taken out right now. So we have our tap 1. We have our tap 2. And now we're going to watch for tap 3. And this is your first higher low after making that tap 2. So right now you have your tap 2, your first higher low. That's going to be extreme liquidity for your model 2 POI. And let's see what price is doing. Price is going higher and price is grabbing the extreme liquidity. But while you're grabbing the extreme liquidity, you had a very aggressive move down, taking out that second tap. So right here, you extend your range to that second tap. And right now you have your tap 1, you have your tap 2, and you have your tap 3. What do we need to do to confirm price to go to the range high? Is break structure between tap 2 and 3. So structure between tap 2 and 3 is doing this, making higher lows, and right now going like this. So we have to break this structure to confirm price to go to that range high. That's too high, because if we do break structure there, that means your entry is going to be there and your RR is going to be less than 1. Do you see your RR is going to be 1.9? So now we're going to watch for a better entry. We have some supply above us and we're going to watch for a better entry. So now we don't have an entry possibility. So we are indeed rejecting of that supply, going lower, and boom, there you go higher. So you rejected from that supply, you went lower, and you went higher again. And still, you have to break structure between tap 2 and tap 3. But right now, you are after your tap 3, deviating, and this is very important, deviating your tap 2. And while scalping, this is not a clear POI, but you had a retest. So you had a retest there, deviating your tap 2, deviating your tap 2 with this retest. So tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, had a retest, deviating your tap 2. That's why you extend your range. I have my range first here at my tap 1. I extend my range to my tap 2. We deviate it and we go higher. So right now, when you have such an aggressive move, you're going to watch for the volume profile. And when I draw the volume profile from the beginning of the range to the point we are now, we can see something very significant because we can see price going like this. This is the volume profile. And what do you see here is that the volume is mainly in the lower section of the range. That's why you got that EQ. So the lower section of the range, so you have a big gap in volume right there. So that's the volume profile. You have a gap. That means price will most likely slide through that upper section of the range. So that's why you got that gap here. And that's why you have a break of structure inside. So on a very low time frame model, scalping, sometimes you watch the 30-second breaks or you watch the 1-minute break. It's a bit how more advanced you are. But you had a pretty clear move back inside the volume profile right there. And you had a pretty clear break of structure right there. Very clear break of structure right there. And that's the, what is it, a 2-minute break of structure. So that's completely valid. Creating some demand as well, by the way. So you go higher and you create demand. What does that mean is that your stop loss is protected by demand. So right here is your demand. And when you put your stop loss below that tap, that means it's protected by demand. So you don't put your stop below here, but below here, because it has no reason to go lower again, take that out and go higher. No reason. So what is a valid entry? The most technical valid entry is going to be right there. Wait for the close. There's your entry. Stop goes below the low. Target the range high for a 1.9 hour trade. For a more advanced entry, for more advanced scalpers, you could have entered right there, got filled right there for like a 3-hour, 2.5 hour trade. But let's do it right now, like that. And we have a breaker block we can potentially come back for. So that's a breaker right there. You see this 1-minute bullish candle, but you see price went up already and didn't even go to that breaker block, and there your TP was hit. So that's a very quick 2-hour trade. Didn't even get a retest. If for a bit more advanced, when you have seen a lot of schematics, you can take a trade like that with a break in the volume profile with a low time frame break of structure. I know this isn't even structure, but it's a very clean move down, very clean move up. Like visually, it looks very much like structure. So that's how you could have approached this. Actually, a pretty good thing is to enter a bit of your position right there, enter the rest of your position right there. If you want to take a more laid back, safer approach, you just take your whole position right there. What you could also do, the third option, is to take 50% at your break of structure right there. And maybe this is the best option, in my opinion. And then wait for a pullback into the 2-hour demand. Or wait for a pullback into the breaker block. So that is what I personally would have done if I would have taken this trade. Is that I would have entered 50% right there. And I would have entered the other 50% touching that breaker, making your average entry here. So your average entry would have been an RR of 2.6. And you see how massive that difference can be. Massive difference. So 50% there, 50% here. This is your average entry, 2.6 RR. And there you go. That is a scalp. And I don't make these videos that often anymore because I already have so much on my YouTube video and every single time it's the same. So I used to even make videos when the model wasn't even completed yet, and I just explained everything, and I've entered there. This is a trade going over it. So watch that back for sure. Join the compound if you're not already in. Link is in the bio. There are a lot of great traders in there who will give you setups like this in the priority setups channel, and this is just a way how to treat those scalps. So especially if you're in a POI like this, you're in a demand POI, and your last POI is right there, just under there, and you come into a very good POI on the retest. Those are all factors to take here to take in when you're taking a trade. For example, this volume profile is so important. You see this volume profile right there. You see the break inside of the volume profile. So price is going outside of the volume profile, and boom, it shoots back up. After deviating that tab 2. Guys, this is textbook. So study this. See you in the next video. Join the compound. Ciao, ciao.